Welcome to the Drama Queen Perspective, a podcast designed to empower, inspire, educate, and entertain. Drama Queen is a philanthropist, educator, business owner, poet, and performer. So you know you will be entertained. Find out what's trending. Get a thumbs up or thumbs down on the hottest restaurants, places, and things. And find out ways to help your business grow, and much, much more. Without further ado, here is your host, Drama Queen.
What's up, everyone? It's your girl Drama Queen coming to you with another reaction video for season 6 of 60 Days In, episode 2. I'm going to keep this video short as I am only going to react to one particular scene because to me, this is something that is important. And if you are considering going on the next season, if there will be a next season of 60 Days In, you need to listen and listen closely. Matt, you know you didn't effed up, right? You know you didn't effed up. I was so pissed watching this episode and so nervous all at the same time. Now, what I want to talk about from season 6, episode 2 of 60 Days In is Matt screwing up his cover story. How you do that, Matt? Where they do that at? Who raised you? No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, your cover story is important. This is the first thing that people are going to ask you. And this is your first opportunity to really sell yourself as an inmate and not somebody that is awkward and doesn't belong in the jail. Immediately, someone questioned his cover story and said, like, dude, you might want to get your story together. Like, and you might want to start with your paperwork. Now, here's where my issue was. And when I was just like, I had chill bumps when I watched this particular part of episode 2 because I'm going to speak for me, but I'm going to assume it's the same for everybody. But I'm going to say, allegedly, it should be the same for everybody. So let's talk about my experience as a participant on season 6 of 60 Days In and cover story. This is something that we get before we even get on the airplane to go to Alabama, okay? So I knew my cover story before I left. Not a long time before, but enough time for me to work on it. Now, let me say this. Unlike Matt, I didn't go in immediately. I had more time. But again, I'm going to assume that they had probably already selected Matt and Ashley, that they were going to be the two that were going to be going in. So I'm going to assume that they probably came in earlier than the other participants so they can still have the same experiences that I'm about to share of what I went through as a participant at season 6 on 60 Days In. So for me, I had the opportunity to actually, they gave me an apartment complex where I lived. And so I actually was taken by the PA. They took me to that apartment complex. So I was able to, I wanted to drive around and see what stores were near, what grocery store was near. I love arts and crafts, so there was an arts and crafts store that was near. When we drove through the apartment complex, we just kind of drove through real quick, and I wanted to take note on things that I liked about the apartment complex. One of the things that I liked about the apartment complex, because I haven't lived in an apartment complex since I was in college, so I don't know if this is something that is an amenity that comes with many apartment complexes. I don't know, but it was something that stood out to me, which was this particular apartment complex that I supposedly lived in had a car wash in there. So that was something that stuck in my mind. I wanted to make sure that I knew the name of the apartment complex, the street that it was on. You know, just for me, I would rather have more information than I need and not need it than not have enough. So for me, my cover story, I did a video. I'm not going to go that deep into my cover story because I've already uploaded another video that goes into depth about my cover story and how I revealed my cover story to my roommate and how that affected our relationship and started us to having a great relationship. So for me, I practice my cover story. I practice. Now, I think that is because that's the actress in me. Is I knew that this was probably going to be one of the most important roles of my life because my life depended on me being able to sell this cover story and make people believe that I was a true inmate. Man, I was so frustrated when watching this. I love you as a person. I love when I met you. I think you're an awesome guy, but I was so pissed off and so disappointed in you when I watched this particular episode and when you fumbled with your cover story. Because once you fumbled with your cover story, it was like your self-esteem and your lack of confidence showed. Your lack of self-esteem and your lack of confidence showed because you was like, crap, I didn't sell my cover story. And that guy questioned it. And then, you know, the inmates aren't stupid. They knew that something was going on. We know that the story that was told to the inmates, because everybody always asks, you know, how did they sell this to the inmates? So if you watch the first episode, you hear about what happened with the first sheriff and how he was stealing, allegedly, because he said it was legal, stealing money from the food budget and built this big beach house. And so now that we have a new sheriff in there, they want to see, you know, how's the food? Are you seeing the changes? The new sheriff came in there, put the locks in there because there were, I think, 212 locks that were broken. There were tons of tons of contraband found. And so now they're wanting to interview the inmates to see if they are able to visibly tell that there are differences in the jail. And so they didn't only pick out, you know, the participants of 60 Days In, they actually pulled out other actual inmates as well and had them sign the same paperwork as well to allow them the opportunity to interview. So back to Matt, I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little background. You should have had that cover story down pat. Now, when I say I practiced my cover story, I didn't rehearse it so much where it seemed rehearsed. When I say I practiced, I studied. I studied the facts. So one thing unique about my cover story was I lived in another county, but I was brought to this county. So I needed to have that reasoning down. I needed to know why. I needed to be able to articulate that without stuttering and know why I was there. I didn't need to look up in the space like they transfer me because they said da 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 da. So I don't know now if it was a Matt issue as far as him screwing up his cover story or if his cover story from production just sucked. I don't know. I don't know. I've not had that conversation with Matt. But if you are considering being a participant on any new seasons of 60 Days In, make sure you have that cover story down pat. Like I said, don't make it seem rehearsed where you're like, my name is Shanice and my cover story is that I am here, because don't do that, because then they're going to be like, dude, you're weird. Something about you is off. I don't know what it is, but something's off. Just know your shit. At the end of the day, know your cover story front and back. Know why you're there. If you got transferred to a county, know why. If you don't feel comfortable with your cover story, speak up and say something. Because at the end of the day, the producers, the casting department, they're not the ones that have to sell the cover story. You're the one that has to sell your cover story. So make sure you're comfortable with it. You know it. You practice it. You know the points, because that is the start of how people are going to judge you and if people are going to feel comfortable with you. So make sure you check out the video of my cover story so you can learn more about my cover story and how I was able to sell it, because that is the very first thing that people are going to ask you. Why are you here? You know, what's your charge? You got to know it and know it well and not stutter and jack up, because then people are going to be leery of you and your self-confidence is going to be lacking. So on that note, I love you to pieces, Matt, but I was a little disappointed when you messed up, in my opinion, because of what you said. I feel like you felt like you messed up your cover story. So it could have been a production thing. It could have been you, but based off the information that you provided, I will say, shame on you. You should have had that cover story down. So make sure, guys, you tune in, because I will have some more reaction videos for episode 2 and the remaining episodes. But this was so important. I wanted to do this video by itself, because your cover story is what can make or break you as a participant on 60 Days In. So tune in, make sure you subscribe, and until next time, stay blessed.
Thanks for listening to the Drama Queen Perspective. Be sure to like and subscribe this podcast and share with the drama queens in your life. Until next time, this has been the Drama Queen Perspective.